We are ready to start, and so I'd like to introduce the Starry Expanse project, and I'll just pass it over to Zib.
All right. Hello. Can everybody hear me? Is it good? Okay, cool. Can they hear me on the stream? We'll find out eventually. I'm just going to get started. Okay, so I am Zib. That's how you guys all know me anyway. I'm here to represent the Starry Expanse project. For those of you who do not know, the Starry Expanse project is an effort to remake Riven, essentially a real Riven. We've been working for a while now, and there's about half of our team is here this year, which is pretty cool. They're all sitting behind me. So just a little bit of history before we dive into this year's demo. We started in late 2008, and originally it was going to be an expansion pack for Uru. It was just two of us working on it, and it looked something like this. Clearly we were not artists, but eventually we found people who were, and it got a little bit better. This was our public demo that we released in late 2012. So we moved out of Uru into standalone engines. We've moved between a couple since then, but lately we've found that Unreal 4 is pretty amazing, and we're probably sticking with it from now on. And we're officially Cyan approved as of 2012, which was pretty awesome. So, yeah. So this year has been pretty amazing for us since last Mysterium. It's been our most productive year to date. We switched to first we switched to the UDK, which was Unreal Engine 3, shortly after Mysterium last year, and then as soon as Unreal 4 was released this year, we moved on to that, and it was a pretty quick jump from one to the other, and it's pretty amazing. So most productive year. We've had some major team growth. Our team, I think, nearly doubled in the last year. Mostly artists, and they're all amazing, and most of them are here, so say hi later. In addition, we've brought a number of new tools into our workflow, like these three, which have made our work much more efficient and helped us a lot. In addition, we have a wiki now, which helps a lot, and we try to keep it updated. So yeah, we have our best demo ever this year. With the caveat that it's not entirely finished, not entirely functional, but we're going to try to show you guys some cool stuff. So without further ado, and we hope the sound works. And it works, cool. So generally, I just sort of shut up and walk around. So I guess I will do that. As I said, it's not all here yet. We tried very hard to get this in time, but we are extremely meticulous with these sticks, and we wanted to make sure they're all perfect. So it takes a little longer than we would like. But we can wander around and look at the sights. Listen to the sounds. Fall through the floor. Hang on. You know, that happened last night. We never remembered to fix it. Take a look at the water. What should I do? You want me to knock on the door? Why? Hold up. These things, they happen. But okay, we'll knock on the door. Nothing happened. Yeah. Cool. Cool. That's all in order. So unfortunately, we don't want to walk all the way around, so we have a little bit of a warp set up here. Yeah, it kills the sound. We're getting there. Sorry. There we go. So this goes on. We'll do one more. You get the idea. So to save a little bit of time, I'm going to use a couple more warp points. So now we are over here. We can go up this handy little ladder. Maybe flip some switches. And I never remember which one is which, but yeah, totally. It worked. And then we will jump over to here. Not quite textured yet, but everything else is here. You get the idea. And then we'll pop over to here. Got a little bit of a shortcut here because we didn't want to, again, we don't want to walk all the way around. part's not quite done yet. I can come back down here and we'll be right back where we started. So that's just a little taste of what we've been up to for the last year. Not quite finished, but we're hoping it'll come along pretty quickly from this point on. So, yeah. So there's just a couple other aspects of the project that I wanted to cover before I start taking questions. One of them is the font work that we've been doing. In the last year, we found an amazing font artist, and we began recreating all of the in-game handwriting that you find so that we can do the journals and that sort of thing. These fonts are vector-based, so they stay really nice and crisp at extremely high resolution, so hopefully we can future-proof a little bit. And they're pretty much completely accurate to the original game. We're obsessive about detail. So this is the Atros font, and we have the beginnings of the Gen font. Not quite finished yet, but there are those characters. And then the other thing that we want to talk about is localization. We would like for our game to be playable by as many people as possible, and with that in mind, we are translating the game. We're using the Gulp project, which was started by OHB, who's not here this year, but he's been awesome in granting us access to this thing. It was originally intended for translating Uru, but he's since added project pages for Riven. There are over 60 languages on Gulp, and basically it works by you guys log in and put in translations for the languages that you speak. So we already have these 6 languages, or these 5 almost complete. They just need a little more push to get all the way there. That's 8. That's 8. I can count. I go to art school. And this is the URL for that. Yeah, I have an affinity for 5. So yeah, I mean, if you speak a language besides English and would like to help out, basically if you want to play Riven in your own language, it's kind of up to you. So yeah. That's it for us. I'd love to take your questions if you have any. This is our URL if you want more information or to follow along for updates. We're also on Facebook and Twitter, so you can find us there. If anyone has questions. I can't really see, though. Well, this machine is pretty powerful, and it was sort of so-so. It normally runs better. I think outputting to the projector is hurting it a little bit. And we haven't actually optimized anything yet. This is still like full quality everything, no effort put in to try to make it run faster. So we're anticipating that it'll be much smoother than what you just saw and that it will be able to run on normal computers. That said, Unreal 4 is a next-gen engine, and we are anticipating to be releasing a couple of years down the line. So what is a normal computer then might be more of a high-power computer now. That's sort of up for debate. Yeah. I should repeat it, yeah, I know. Repeat it, yeah, okay. I'll repeat the next ones. So the question was, is there going to be a day-night cycle, and if so, how will that integrate with our puzzles? So we've, in the past, we've demoed Prison Island with having a real-time day-night cycle. I'm not going to go into full detail now because we're actually planning a post about this in the next couple weeks, but for the time being, we've actually decided to not include a dynamic day-night cycle for a number of reasons, most of which are art-based and puzzle-based. We don't want to make the game any harder than it already is, and we are afraid that that might happen. But like I said, there'll be more detail about that coming in the next couple of weeks. Yeah. Any word on the beta? No. Someday.
I have a quick one, but I'm right here, so you can hear me. Do you have any plans to either release the fonts or also include like alternate characters to make them seem more handwriting-esque?
So the question was, are we going to release the fonts, and are we going to include other characters to make them seem more handwriting-ish? The first part, we haven't entirely worked out yet, and there will be more information forthcoming soon. We would love to release them, of course, because they're awesome and we want people to use them. The second part, we are absolutely planning on including multiple characters. I think it was the letter E in the Atris font. There's at least 3 different variants, and we're working on ways to get all of those in. And then also, the Atris font, I think I said it was complete. I meant it's complete for English. We're working on adding accented characters and that kind of thing for the localization, because those two go hand in hand. So once it's totally done and we have other things worked out, we may be able to release it. We'll see. You mean like the one that we're currently showing? Yes. We think that day and night is awesome. We really like Prison Island at nighttime, and we are not intending to fully abandon it. It just isn't necessarily going to be in the actual game itself. We're not saying we'll never do anything like this picture again, because this picture is beautiful and we like it, and we're going to release it as wallpaper once this is over. So. Yeah.
Are you thinking about sneaking any of your own Easter eggs in, or just staying pure to the original game?
The question was, are we going to put our own Easter eggs in, or are we going to stick to the original game? I think there's another part to that, which is, are we going to put the original Easter eggs in the game? And all of that, I will say, maybe. Stick around.
You've got a video, and you want millions of people to watch it. But just uploading it to YouTube isn't going to get You've got a video, and you want millions of people to watch it. But just uploading it to YouTube
Areas where we can't actually get a very good view of what the original objects looked like. And that is definitely a big issue for us, because the original images are so tiny and you can't walk everywhere and that sort of thing. So in some cases, it's just sort of the artist gets to say what they think it is. So like, for example, I can go to wait, hang on. This might take longer than I thought. Well, the back of the sub, you never really see what's behind you when you're sitting there. So we sort of got to say, well, we think it looks like this, and well, all right. But for other things, we sort of scour the internet for resources. The From Mist to Riven book is awesome for that sort of thing, and just every sort of promotional image that's ever been released, we have it stockpiled somewhere, all of the behind-the-scenes footage, everything, and we go through everything and try to find anything that we can that'll help. So.
So what is your typical process for asset creation? How long does it take? How many people work on one model? Is it
Right. So the question was, what's our typical pipeline like for creating assets? Generally, it's we as an overall group, we pick an area that we're going to focus on, and then we sort of divide that up into all of the different things that need to be done. We use a product called Trello for that, where we can just make a whole bulletin board full of everything. And then basically just each person picks what they want to do, and then they just make a whole asset. Usually it's one artist does one whole area. So like the schoolhouse was all one person sitting right behind me, and the submarine is all one person, and that sort of thing. And then in terms of making sure it's accurate and that kind of stuff, we have an awesome system of triangulation, camera matching, that sort of thing, so that we know the settings for the original renders, and we can sort of set the same thing up in Maya and then just make sure that everything is in the exact same spot and is the exact same shape and looks the same, so that it's all the same proportions, the same size, and the same location. And in the case of the sticks, it's like every single stick is accurate to its original position and that kind of thing. We're obsessive about detail, so yeah. Did you guys have anything I should say to that? I'm not the one doing most of the art, so these guys are the ones that you should really talk to. But. Yeah, I'm around. Please come talk to me.
How are you handling animations? Are you going to use some of the original QuickTime videos or are you rendering?
We're intending to do everything in real-time 3D, similar to the villager in the hut that you just saw. That's sort of our first attempt to do a person, and it's only going to get better from there. But we want everything to be this same quality, so it all looks like a cohesive world, pretty much. The original QuickTime files are just too low resolution and that sort of thing for them to be useful, unfortunately.
Thank you, Ziv.
Thank you, guys.